Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of
A BJJ Marriage, where we talk about our lives as a married Jiu Jitsu couple. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of BJJ Marriage.
65. I don't know how to say that in Portuguese. No, actually. No idea.
Okay. Anyway. 65 with your hosts, Nick and Brittany Lee, and we have a very special guest today. We have Miss Nancy Bernier.
That's only in Canada, she said.
Well, Canadians are like French, right? So I wanted to sound French today.
That's why it's called French Canadian.
Is it? Is it really, though?
I think there's a portion of...
Quebec.
Yeah.
Yes.
She knows.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways.
So,
Yes, we have Nancy here joining us today. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thanks
Yes.
for coming. I'm very excited. We've talked about Nancy a few times and how she is our most... How would I put this? How do you want me to word this?
Oldest.
I was going to say it nicer than that. I was going to say, like, most life experienced, most, I'm not going to say mature, because you're definitely not the most mature one there.
That's true.
The things that come out of Nancy's mouth sometimes, we're like, did you really just, okay, all right.
She taunts me.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah, when I roll with you, it's always like, oh, yeah, you're going to do it that way. Okay, all right, I
She's
see
like,
it.
I see that triangle coming.
Yep. Nancy's awesome. So, when did you officially start jiu-jitsu?
A year ago, July.
Wow, it's almost
I know.
coming up.
I know.
Excited. We should throw you a
Yeah.
party.
Everybody gets to party.
No, just Nancy.
Just Nancy.
Nancy's
Okay.
the most important one. Are you kidding me?
Makes sense.
Because you're how old?
75.
75. So you started when you were 74.
Right.
That's wild.
It is.
How has that been for you?
Well, I didn't tell a lot of people
Yeah.
initially because I thought they'd think I was crazy. But, Brent said just see how it goes.
Mhm.
And that's what I've been doing. And now I've been here almost a year. It just seems like it flew by.
It does. It goes by so quick.
Yeah, it's just like I imagine he just told you just like show up and play around with it, and that's what you've been doing.
Well, he said it would be good for your body, right? Because you would start like getting your joints moving and all the fluid moving and everything. Ding, ding, ding. But,
Fluid.
Yes.
Yeah, like he just said, it would be good to like prevent against all the things that can happen as your body starts aging, like osteoporosis and all that other non-fun stuff.
Right.
So, do you think that it has been helping?
Absolutely. I know that, like he was saying, I said it initially, I don't think I could ever do that, and we were looking at some of the exercises. He said, well, a lot of people can't do it at the beginning. You just keep on working at it, and at some point you'll be able to do it. And that has proven to be true, that there's, I do feel more flexible, but as I'm learning, I'm figuring out what I need to do, as we go along. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're there all the time. Like, you're there more than most people, I would say.
yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really do. Yep.
It's fun. It's good social setting
Yeah.
in general, and then you get to work out while you're like hanging out with people.
I think the thing that everyone at Fluid is most impressed with, I mean, not only that you're a 75-year-old doing jiu-jitsu and being a complete badass doing it, but like on top of that, we had the charity rollathon, and that was 12 hours of straight jiu-jitsu. Like, it was seminar to open mat to seminar to open mat for 12 hours, and you were there the whole time. Like, you didn't quit. You didn't stop. You didn't sit. I mean, maybe you sat down a little bit, but like, you were there the whole time.
Yeah.
And there was not many of us who did that. So that's insane, and props
And
to you.
she stayed and drank wine afterwards.
Yeah, we did.
I would not have missed that.
No.
No, it was funny. I think my husband was talking to Tracy and saying how hard I work and, I'm coming all the time. And Tracy pointed at me, and at that moment, Gabe was giving me a massage. So I was not rolling all the time.
Okay. But that's still fine. You were there. Yeah, I was going to say you mentioned flexibility, and that's one thing we learned from the Joey Deal seminar, the mobility seminar. You came to the mobility. Did you come to the mobility seminar?
Yes.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he made a big difference between flexibility and mobility. And that change in mindset for me has been huge on helping people teach or learn the techniques that I'm teaching them. It's not that you have to be flexible. You have to learn how to create the mobility to make this move work for you. And yeah, I've noticed your mobility increase over the year that you've been training. It's crazy that you've been training a year.
I know.
Almost.
Almost.
Don't quit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. So would you say that you've noticed a big difference between your flexibility versus mobility, especially after that seminar?
I have. Yeah, but that was a good distinction that he made between mobility and flexibility, and you can you can be mobile, but maybe not flexible, and that helped me, accept some of the limitations that I have, because there are areas where I'm not flexible,
right?
But I can still figure out how to be mobile. And in those situations, so it's that has helped me.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I've always noticed about you is that you're constantly moving. Like, even if it's not like at a super fast pace and you're not inverting or anything, but I mean, you're still always moving. You're never just sitting there like a dead fish, which is great, because there are some people who like to just be dead fish.
Yeah, and that's honestly not fun jiu-jitsu, but I have fun rolling with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you two are super fun to roll with.
Except you're making me mad.
Yes, their legs are all over the place.
The knee tip sweep is not working on you anymore, though.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's, I've been working on, Ellie, I don't know, she's so fast that by the time I've thought about what's she going to do, she's done it.
Yes, she does that.
Yeah, she has all the zoomies in the world for the entire gym. But yeah, but you're moving very well too. Like, you move better than a whole lot of other people who are in the same boat as you for just a year. And
what I love about your movement is you're not moving to like just try to outstrength people, which is what typically people in their first year of jiu-jitsu, that's all they do in jiu-jitsu. And you're just moving to have fun and play jiu-jitsu. And having that at an early stage in your jiu-jitsu journey helps you build longevity in jiu-jitsu in general. Because that's how people get hurt, is like, if I pull on her arm and she has no tension on it, like, it'll move anywhere, right? But if I pull on her wrist here and she puts tension in her elbow, it's all of a sudden going to start breaking. You see, it affects the rest of her body. She can't hold her coffee. Oh my God, do not spill it on my white gi. I will kill you. But it creates this gi has already gotten coffee on it before, though. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, that creates an opportunity to damage the body when you're rigid and trying to use muscles.
Right. Yeah, I learned that early on. One of the first, initially I was, not moving that much. And I did, go into the mat. Somebody had swept me, and I went into the mat, and I did, I jammed my finger. Oh, yeah. Because you're bracing yourself a bit, right? I'm bracing myself. Now it's like I'm learning more and more how to fall. That was a big thing for me, is how to fall. And how to like continue rolling when you're getting swept. And yeah, because if you tense up and splat into the ground, that's going to hurt no matter who you are. Yeah. Right. Yes, but if you can learn how to take that momentum and, position your body in a way where you kind of like lay and kind of curl a little bit and let the momentum go sideways instead of straight down. Right. That creates a huge difference. Yeah. For sure. Well, it's unfortunate that when people start hitting the older age, and I don't think you're there yet. I think it's more like people in their mid to late 80s is when they start like actually having falls. And I mean, it's different for everyone, but I feel like people in their 80s are the ones that you see the most that are starting to fall. So by the time that you're there, let's say 10 years from now, you should be a black belt. You're going to be really good at falling. Yeah, you're going to be just fine at falling. And it'll be great for you. I think this is like one of the best things that you could have probably done for yourself, like ever. Yeah, and who would have known? I mean, I had no idea what jiu-jitsu was even, except for, working out with Brent and, him telling me, but, just hearing about it and being there and doing it is just so different, you just...
Yeah.
And then him talking about it's a family, the family atmosphere. I'm thinking, well, yeah, because everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but after being there for this amount of time, I agree. It is like a family.
It is like a family, yeah. I really enjoy the culture that Brent has built at Fluid. And Brittany and I do our best to maintain that culture, make sure everybody has a good time, and... That's ultimately why we keep showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because some days, like, you'll have a bad day and you'll be like, I don't want to go work out, but you want to go see your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, what other sport really is there that you go in a bad mood and you leave feeling way, way better? Like, I know they say that lifting,
even though you lose
that.
The whole time you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't mean to cut you off, but if you were playing golf and you went to play golf and you failed, you'd be in a way worse mood at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or like when you're lifting, it's actually kind of dangerous to do it when you're not in the right headspace because you're not doing proper form. You can start hurting yourself, pulling things, dropping weights. Like, it could be atrocious. But like in jiu-jitsu, it's like if you mess up, oh well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so even if you get smashed the whole hour, you're probably still going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And you were learning the whole time.
That's right.
I just told Nick today, because we've had a very scarce week of training this week, where we've just had a lot of busy things going on. I won't get into it, but I've only gotten to train 2 days this week, and normally I train 5. So it's been like a really, really hard week for me. Like, I've had a lot of pent-up energy. And I told him today, I was like, is it weird that I just really want some big dude to smash me? And Nick was like, Brittany. And I was just like, no, I'm serious. Like, things you can only say as a married woman when you do jujitsu, right? Like,
oh my God.
I just really want to be smashed, okay?
Apparently, I have some work to do.
I just want to fight. So then, so last night we were at a quinceañera, and so we were dancing, and it was a cumbia, so like we were dancing, we were spinning, we were doing all this stuff, but I don't know how to dance. Like, you can't make me dance and like expect it to go okay, because I just suck at it.
She judges herself too hard. She knows how to dance.
So I'm literally like sitting there, and I was dancing with someone who's very experienced in it, and he would like try to reach around so that I would spin in the proper way. But as he was reaching, I immediately went to do this. Like, I went to block. And it was like so instinctual that I just, if you're not watching and you're just listening, like I literally imagine someone putting their arm around your waist and you literally close it because you don't want them to get an underhook.
That's like, what she was. She was just blocking underhooks. She was dancing, blocked underhook. Move, block.
I mean, kept telling me, it's like, Brittany, we're not fighting. And I was like, it's just happening, okay? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, you just have to be like loose and let it flow. And I'm like, no, you're reaching for me. I have to defend it. Like,
it's funny because when we're at home, like, we'll be in the kitchen and I'll go for underhooks to play fight. So that's probably where it comes from. I do go in for hugs, to be honest, but I do try to like do judo on her half the time we're in the house. So no underhooks. That's probably where it comes from.
But it was, stop it. But it was just so funny because like I wouldn't dance. I was just defending the whole time. And yeah,
that was entertaining.
He had to keep telling me, it's like, we're not fighting. And I'm like, but we are.
Dancing is very similar to fighting. I could see his footwork was good because he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Actually, there's a lot of some of the top black belts competing right now are formerly breakdancers before they started jiu-jitsu.
What?
And people that do dance in general have great hand-eye coordination and mobility and ability to control their body to move, to do what they need to do in jiu-jitsu. And they excel extremely fast when they learn jiu-jitsu. So if you're a dancer and you're already listening to this podcast and don't do jiu-jitsu for some reason.
I don't think you'd be on episode 65, though, if you didn't do jiu-jitsu. So.
Well, maybe they just start now.
Yeah. Good for you. Honestly, I was actually thinking that today's episode, just title in general, just being like age is just a number, or you're never too old to start, or things like something along those lines. I don't know what we're going to title this, but whatever
we'll
it is.
Title it afterwards.
Yeah. I feel like that would actually be something that could attract people who don't do jiu-jitsu, because I think they would want to hear because that's the biggest excuse is I'm too out of shape or I'm too old. Like those are the two big things that you hear the most.
Right.
So I think that we could actually attract some people who maybe are a little afraid to start it, and they might listen to today. And what would you tell them? Well,
I just say it's never too late to start. You have to, I'm overweight. I was overweight when I started, but now I'm 30 pounds less.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Cheers
for
that.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
She had her cup down.
Sorry.
Skull. And really, yeah, and I have some physical issues, heart issue, and a couple of other things. But you work with that. Just like the flexibility. I'm not flexible, and I that some of that is not going to change, but you work with it. Then
That's
you
right.
work on your mobility, not your, and it's just an excuse like all of us come up with, I can't lose weight because I love ice cream too much.
Yes. You can actually do both.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I eat ice cream all the time. All the time. Ellie, you can now tell me it's okay.
And really, people are very nice. The people that obviously everyone else in the school is younger than I am, but rolling with them, they accommodate, they adjust themselves so that they're not being too hard on me. And then as I've been improving, then, I say, come on, full force, or like I say to Ellie, is that all you've got? Yes, I guess awesome. My mouth does go a little bit.
I love it. I love it. It makes it so much fun. Yeah, I was just talking so I just started my new job recently, so I've been meeting a lot of people, and obviously they're learning about how I do jiu-jitsu all the time. I actually had to warn them because I've only been there for 3 weeks. I'm like, so if I come in with a bunch of bruises, I promise I'm not being abused. It's just jiu-jitsu.
I told her that's the best thing she could have said for me.
But I was like, you don't know me well enough to know this. I don't want you to freak out if I come in and I can't turn my head for the day, or if I am limping, or maybe I have some bruises on my arms. Just know that I'm a very active in the martial arts community, so I'm probably going to come in injured once a month, with just some random small things. And I'm not being abused. Maybe by some higher belts, but not physically abused at home.
If I was an abuser to you, your dad would probably just murder me.
Probably.
And that's unfortunately, I can't do much about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I trained jiu-jitsu. One day, my father-in-law won't be able to murder me.
He always says, whenever Nick, Jada, Maria, and I are always, talking to him, and we're just well, we could probably all take you together. And then Brent goes, yeah, I just take Nick out first, and then you guys don't have a chance.
Yeah, he would just ruthlessly kill me.
He plans it out. He's I'd have to take Nick out, and then I'd have to take Brittany out, and then I'd have to go for Ian, and then I could go for Jada, and Maria's fine.
I don't think she could kill me if she wanted to.
He's really thought about this,
huh?
We've,
it's come up quite a few times, actually. We've kind of plotted to kill him a few times.
Yes, and he always says that I would have to go first.
Yep.
Sucks.
That's a compliment to you.
Yeah, I guess.
But so anyway, I started my new job, and I was telling them about jiu-jitsu and all this stuff, and my boss's wife, I work directly with her, very close on relationship. She's the one training me right now, and she's 54, and I told her, I was like, maybe I can get you in jiu-jitsu. I don't even think I told you this. I was like, maybe I can get you in jiu-jitsu. And she just starts giggling. And I was like, you had to know it was coming eventually. You've known me for 3 weeks now.
3 weeks?
It was going to come out.
That was bottled up for a while.
I had to get to know them, okay? But I just said that, and she was just like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm too old to do that. And I was like, you are not, actually. And I was like, I have a 75-year-old. And she was like, wow. What? And then I was like, and I think we have a bunch of 50-year-olds too. I know we have Mike Coy, we have Romer. Mm-hmm. Who else is in their 50s?
Tracy.
Tracy. Yeah, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy is a fantastic model for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's, 53? 53, 54?
Something like that.
Yeah, and she's a purple belt, and she's a damn good one, too. So, like, we have a big range of people. I actually told her, I was like, besides the kids' classes, I'm actually probably one of the babies there. Like, a lot of the median range is probably like 35, 40.
Yeah, in the 30s, I would say.
I'm trying. Maybe we can get Lori there sometime, but that's her name.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
That's her name. My trainer.
Yes.
But,
I was like, who? Never mind. I remember now.
Yeah. So basically my whole point in telling her was that you're 54. Who cares? You should come train anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So, Nancy, we get a lot of visitors at the gym that host seminars.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when we had the charity roll-a-thon, we had 12 black belts come through. Tell us what all of them say when they meet you.
Oh, you're Nancy.
Yes. But I see all the black belts, they always come up to you, and they're always so happy to see you there and on the mats and doing jiu-jitsu.
You're the golden child.
You're like, people walk into a room and they look for like the highest talent in the room to begin with. But then they see you and then they're like, holy shit, look at that woman doing jiu-jitsu. I've seen it.
Yeah.
And they come up to you. I remember Jeff Glover.
You got a picture with Jeff Glover.
Jeff Glover loved you.
He put you on his socials.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Jeff Glover, Joey Deal, they both posted about you. They think that it's phenomenal that you're there. Do you talk to Jeff Glover at all?
No,
okay.
I haven't.
But you're not on Instagram, right?
Right. When I came in the gym the next day, everyone was saying, "Oh, you're on, social media. Did you?" I said, "What? On what?" And then I had to get onto Instagram just to see what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, Jeff Glover was super impressed with you, and I think that that's like one of the highest compliments because he's one of the like bigger names in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's super cool.
You know the donkey guard I play with?
Oh, yes.
That's Jeff Glover.
Ah, okay.
He invented that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So what has been your favorite seminar that you've been at? Because you've been to quite a few.
Yes, I have. I did like his seminar. I liked the leg seminar.
Joey Deals.
Joey Deals, yes. I thought, because initially I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this, but then I paired up with you. That was so good because, because
that's good because I didn't know what I was doing either.
And I was so lucky at Jeff Glover's too because I was paired up with Mike Coy.
Okay.
So, it couldn't be better because you're doing the moves with someone that is figuring it out and you're doing it right. And
yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Even the inversion. I thought, well, I can never do that. But we did it.
And you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you brought your hips up.
Yeah, the one where I was standing over you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys have ever done the warm-up drill where the person is on their back and then the other person is standing over them about hip line, and then the person on bottom is supposed to be like inverting up to their shoulders to try to hook
like a single leg X.
Yeah, hook for an X guard, and then you just keep rotating back and forth on each leg to get that hip mobility.
And Nancy was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we got a video of that. Maybe we should post that in the comments or something because my dad posted it on Fluid's page. But yeah, so you really liked the Joey Deal seminar.
I did, yeah.
So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever use it? Do you ever use anything you've learned from there?
I've tried to, but that's probably a disadvantage of my age. Well, maybe it's just a disadvantage of not having done jiu-jitsu enough. You learn something and then you have to learn it again and again and again. And maybe about the 6th time you learn it, then things are starting to click.
Yeah, where you could just like do it without thinking, is this right?
Right. Like I'll ask some of the younger people, like Lucas, Lucas, help me with this, Joey Deal move, and he'll remember it and he'll teach it to me all over again,
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I've found, that I just have to keep coming and keep learning again and again. I don't think that's necessarily age. I think it's just something that, you can't possibly remember all of the various things.
Yeah.
That's right. There's infinite amount of moves in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Yeah, and you obviously have a lot more life experience than we do, so you've probably figured out how you learn, and it sounds like you're a repetition learner.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to see it. I have to be there. When I was working for AT&T and I was trying to figure out the circuitry, I actually went into the central office and I said, okay, now this particular circuit, show me. So you're looking at circuit packs, basically.
Yeah.
But that helped me, just the visual, seeing it,
Yeah, and be able to put your hands on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the way it is with jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah, so you're probably, it sounds like you learn the same way that I do, where you have to see it, and you have to see it a couple times so that you can try to figure it out, and then you have to do it a bunch.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am.
Right.
So, because I can't just watch something once and then go do it. He can. He's really good at that, where he just sees something, or he even listens to a move on a podcast like this, where he's not watching it, he just listens to how it's done. He's like, I'm going to go do that. And I'm like, how do you do that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But
it has to be good description in audio form, but I can follow the technique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what would you say, besides the leg lock seminar, what has been the most beneficial thing that you've done? Like, what is the thing that you've learned that you just do all the time now?
I do, the most beneficial thing for me is simply moving, continuing to move. And just the emphasis on, the space, that Brent has always said, okay, you've got space, you've got angle, make sure that you're connected to your training partner.
Yes.
And continue to move. And I have to keep telling myself, that has been a very big learning. And I just have to keep learning it because you do get frustrated if you're being armbarred and you're trying to figure out, okay, now I want more than anything to get out of this armbar.
Yes.
Why don't I try moving my legs? It's like, come on, get your legs up, under your knees and start moving.
Don't forget you have legs.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Right.
Yeah. Or arms. Some people forget they have arms and then they get armbar.
Yeah.
It's true. She almost caught me with that 2 weeks ago. Not gonna happen again.
Whatever. Yes, it will. I have almost caught you like 4 times in the last month. One of these days, it's gonna get there. One of these days.
Yep, one of these days.
I've only tapped him out twice. Ever.
Oh boy.
So
let me know when the next time is, and I'll say, hey Nick, do you know about, like right in the middle of your road?
Oh God.
Did you ever hear about how my white belt had 2 purple stripes on it?
No.
So I was a white belt and he was a blue belt. And the first time I tapped him out, I was probably like a 2-stripe white belt. And I was very excited about it. And I told my dad, I was like, oh my God, I tapped my husband out. I think I deserve a purple belt now.
Because she's obviously better than a blue belt.
Yeah, if I could tap out my husband, then I deserve my purple. Obviously, I was kidding. I'm not being cocky. I knew I was still a white belt. But I was just like, no, I deserve my purple belt. So he literally took a purple Sharpie and gave me a purple stripe. Oh, it was 3 times when I was a white belt, because then when I was getting my blue belt, when he tied up my white belt for me, he actually gave me 2 more purple stripes because I tapped him out 3 times. So I have 3 purple stripes on my white belt.
I don't remember 3. I remember the triangle.
And the armbar.
An armbar.
I don't remember the 3rd one either, but it was 3 because I have 3 stripes.
She's a liar. Or we both purged it from memory.
But the last 3 times have been almost arm bars. There was one that he said was 95% locked in.
Yeah, it was. I was like, if you weren't my wife, I probably would have had tapped.
Ego.
Yeah, there's that. Going back to what you were talking about with spaces and angles and continuing moving, I find that also where people will accept a position, stop moving, but the other person is not going to stop moving, and they will advance their position. But if you keep moving, it's harder for them to continue advancing whatever they've got going on. Mm-hmm. And, that's the biggest thing. People have, or I shouldn't say people, well, in general, yes. Sorry, I'm arguing with myself. But white belts. Always, number one question that I have with white belts in a private lesson is, how do I get out from side control? And what's happening with white belts is they get their guard pass, and then they accept side control from whoever passed their guard and let them set up whatever side control they want, and then they're trying to get out of it. But it's like, when your guard is being passed, don't accept that they're past your guard. Keep moving, keep fighting. It's going to be easier for you to regard and harder for them to hold that side control, and easier for you to reverse the position or get out of side control in general. But if you, like, someone passes your guard, and you're just like, oh shit, now they're in side control, and then you wait for them, you're gonna be pinned way worse. Which is one reason, like, whenever.
Wow. Drink some more of that coffee.
I've slept like 25 hours this entire week. I'm not gonna lie. But it's
when we're rolling?
Yeah, when we're rolling. You'll
hard
find
to say.
When we're rolling.
I'll never stop moving, no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
And I never accept any position that you try to put me in.
Yeah.
Until I tap, which is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
If your name's Brittany Lee. No, there are people that give me a tap, but one of my number one...
It's just not me. He wanted to make that known that it's not me.
One of my number one things in jiu-jitsu, though, is you cannot hold me down because I do not stop moving ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even, like, if you try to pin me, that's why I start vibrating, right? And then it's like, it's really hard to hold him down when he doesn't stop moving.
Yeah.
So don't accept the position.
You were there that night, right?
Yeah.
When he was teaching?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you tried vibrating? And now Dave says it all the time, and it's just...
It's a good escape. Yeah.
Dave is actually the one that said it that way. You were like, you need to vibrate. And Dave goes, have you tried vibrating?
That's how you get out of there.
I was rolling with Dave the other day, and he started vibrating, and I was just cracking up. I couldn't even do it. I think he caught me right then and there because I just started laughing.
See, it works.
Yeah. It's going to be our next shirt for sure. But
that's good stuff.
Yeah. So, okay, so you said that the biggest thing that you've taken away has probably been the mobility aspect of it, which is super cool. I think another thing that a lot of people just love about you at Fluid, because on top of you just being you and everyone thinks that you're awesome, and on top of your age, like, there's so many good qualities about you that you're just, like, who everyone aspires to be when they grow up, like, seriously. And I think one of the things that I find the most humbling about you is how much support you give people. So, like, you are constantly there for events as long as you can be, and you're not out of town. Like, you were at Nick Bontempo's fight, and you were at the Grappling Industries tournaments.
Yeah, competitions.
And you're constantly, like, even when you can't be there, you're still posting in the group, like, you guys all
very
rock,
active.
and, you're gonna do great, or I'm always here rooting. Like, I just think that that's so cool, and you just, like, you are definitely a big part of the Fluid culture. Like, you definitely have added to it and made it better.
Well, that's
in the last year, yes.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I do feel like I'm part of the family.
You are.
And that's always been...
You're the mom.
I mean, even like working out with Brent, having him as a personal trainer, one thing that really impressed me about him was he treated me not like an old lady that he was trying to help. Well, we'll tone this down a little bit.
Sure.
No, he treated me like a peer, and it just threw me, I thought, oh, okay. And he wasn't going to be easy on me. You can, take the 40-pound one, and
and put in the work.
Put in the work and all of that. And it's kind of like that with, everybody at Fluid. There, you go in, I get a lot of hugs. I just... we talk about our week. I see these young people, especially people with young kids, knowing what they're going through. They have jobs. They've got new jobs. There's a lot of pressure. They've, all of these things going on, and yet they're there. Yeah. And it's very encouraging to me to see them. And it's just they're just like friends. Mm-hmm. They are friends.
We are friends.
Yes.
I saw a post the other day, and it asked, like, what is your biggest age gap between you and one of your friends? And I had to think about it, and I was like, holy crap. Like, because like it was a poll, so there was a lot of different options to choose from. And most people just said like it was between like 5 years or so. And I'm like, yeah, join jiu-jitsu. Then you have friends who are literally 4 years old all the way up to 75 years old.
Yes.
Like, I have a crazy amount of majority in friends, and I think that that's like one of the coolest things is the networking aspect of it too. Like, not even just trying to make money off of people or with people, like you're literally like, you know, someone for everything, right? Like, I now know a mortgage lender, I now know a contractor, I now know a cop, like I know someone for everything,
right?
I know a guy who teaches jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he's okay. You know, a personal trainer, you know, a dietitian, you know, a HVAC guy, you know, a gardener. Like, you just know, you know so many people that I actually have people asking me outside of jiu-jitsu, like just my peers or my coworkers and things. And they're always like, okay, who do you have for me now? Because you always have someone that you know. Yeah. And I'm like, I really do though. Like, I know someone for just about everything, which is super cool. It's
a melting pot of knowledge at jiu-jitsu. Which is fantastic. And then the best part about it is we bring all these people together for jiu-jitsu. We all learn jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is completely analogous to every industry that everybody's going out into the world and doing. So, like, when I was building the deck with Johnny, we were talking about, he had a plan to do something, and then he was like, that's not going to work, but we're just going to do this instead when he was building the deck. And I was like, oh, that's just like you went to go for a triangle, it didn't work, and now you're going to go for an armbar. Right. And he was like, yeah. Just like that.
Yeah, like the cogs in the wheel.
Yeah, the cogs in the watch for a submission.
Yeah. So like that kind of goes into, so I'm in finance, and most people would be like, how do you compare finance and jiu-jitsu? And well, I'm like, let me tell you, I found a way. So I was talking to Nick Bontempo a couple days ago, and he was like, you know this, you're basically a brown belt in this game, like talking about finance. And I was like, oh, hardly a brown belt, more like a brand new blue belt, learning the ins and outs. I can explain it all to you, a white belt in finance, and honestly I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm in no position to advise others in their investments. And then he responds and he goes, well, you'll get there someday and be a black belt eventually. And I was like, yep. And then I literally sent him this, and it says hashtag everything relates back to jiu-jitsu.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was just a really funny conversation because we were straight up talking about finance, but in jiu-jitsu language. So
that's one of my favorite things about being a life coach and having clients that do jiu-jitsu is I'm able to use jiu-jitsu as an analogy for their life in such an easy way because the language of jiu-jitsu is universal, person to person. And it's a fantastic way to get people to gain a broader perspective about whatever's going on in their life.
Yep. So what would you say is your favorite part besides like the culture? Like what keeps bringing you back? Why do you keep coming?
Well, besides the people, like you said, the friendships, just what we were talking about before, no matter how you feel when you walk in the door, gee, do I really want to get up out of the couch?
Do I want to get smashed by a big guy right now?
Once, or you have a headache or whatever, once you walk in and you start, saying hi to everybody, and then you start doing things, your mind goes from all of that other stuff just to jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
It's just something that, and that was another point I kind of wanted to make, is that what's good for me as an older person is, especially if there are several steps to what you're learning, that's good for your brain.
Yes.
It's good for anyone's brain because, you've got like Brent was saying, you do this and then you can do this and then you can do this. But you have to do those three to get here. Yes. And so you're thinking about each one of those. You can't think about anything else when you're doing jiu-jitsu.
That's right.
And that's why it's such a good martial art to be a part of.
Yeah, it's a good exercise for your brain, like you said. Yeah, and it keeps the neural pathways open and forming.
Right.
Because if you don't use it, you lose it. as they say.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. We're about to, in August, we're doing a team outing where we're going to be making competition t-shirts, right? You know about
Yes,
this? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We should
That's
do
cool.
all of our shirts with Nancy's face on it.
What?
Because she's the biggest supporter. She's
please,
the biggest Fluid family
do not
supporter.
do that. Do not do that. No.
That sounds awesome.
So, Nancy, when are we going to get you an IBJJF?
Oh my goodness. Well, I will say that the last competition we went to, there was a man that competed, and I walked up to him and I said, "Could I ask how old you are?" And he was 70.
Wow.
Now I didn't see him compete, but I thought, maybe there's hope for me after all.
Whoa!
That is awesome.
You heard it here first, guys. Might get Nancy an IBJJF.
I'd have to have a few qualifications. Okay, you can't do this. You can't do this.
Yep.
Like I
Okay.
used to say to Ellie, now Ellie, don't, my fingers, please do not do a, wrist lock and this and that. And initially she listened to me, and after a while she just, forget it. You're the worst.
That is what she says to you. She always tells you you're the worst.
Yes.
I think you actually replaced Tracy in her mind with being the worst, because Tracy used to be the worst.
Oh, dang.
But
That's funny.
yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I remember seeing, I think it was last year in Pans, the two women who were probably in their 70s. They were both blue belts, but the two 70-year-old women that went against each other in IBJJF.
Wow.
Yeah, I think her Instagram is like Jiu Jitsu Granny. Something like that.
Wow.
Is her name.
So we could
She's
get
got
you out there.
bright white hair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's older than you, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think so.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know. We have to get you together.
That'd be fun to watch. Super fun. But
Yeah. I liked what you said about understanding that you have to do this step to get to this step to get there. And that's exactly where you should be as a white belt. And as you rank up, you'll understand that this step also works in this system, and this step helps in this system, and they're all connected. So your one step could lead off to 4 or 5 different branches of techniques.
Right.
And they're all
I'm
analogous. It becomes this like web of things that you can do from everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I was, when we were working on arm bars, the last week or maybe the week before, and
who was working on arm bars?
The setup.
Who was doing this?
Brent?
I think it was Brent's class. Yeah.
What the heck?
Probably Monday.
We were setting up, and I said, I think I was training with Lucas maybe, and this is just like, really, it's like doing a triangle, but you're not doing the triangle. You're getting in the same position, kind of.
Yes.
And kind of making that. I thought, well, what do you know? I know something.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
It is.
When you get that light bulb and you're like, oh my God, I don't feel like an idiot. And then something else happens and you're like, yep, there's the idiotness again. But
But you recognize that one position has multiple pathways of advancement.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
That's fantastic. So that's way better for your brain.
Yep.
Yes.
In general.
So we didn't even mention this, but you also do Muay Thai with us.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Which is also crazy. I don't understand where you get all this energy. I think you have more energy than me some days.
Yeah, Nancy's on the same par of energy that I have, I feel.
No one is on the same par of energy as you.
I like to think so.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I was hesitating for a while doing Muay Thai, and I think it was Heather. Maybe but anyway, said something about, I said, well, what if I go into AFib? But that's never been an issue. It is getting your heart rate up is not bad for your heart.
Right.
Right. No, even if you have a heart disease, getting your heart rate up is good. And that's what you do with the Muay Thai. Not only that, but then the coordination, the feet, the hands. It's just a whole new way of figuring out, how to coordinate yourself.
It's a totally different art than jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Which is what I love about it, is that I can now get such a good workout and still be using like the hand-eye coordination, but in totally different ways than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I love both of them so much.
Yeah, they complement each other really well. And I say this often, but jiu-jitsu is more isometric, where you're holding things with, gripping, holding. And Muay Thai, you get to train your fast twitch and your explosive muscle movements. So it's impact and strike, explode.
Yeah.
Instead of pulling in, extending out.
Yeah. And so Gabe, he asks me frequently, he's like, what do you wanna do this week? And I'm like, power. I just wanna hit things. So we do power work a lot.
Some weeks he wants to hit things, some weeks he wants to get smashed by a big guy. Who knows what's going on in that brain.
It's a good thing she's in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. This makes me sound like I do nothing. Or I'm not a good husband.
Yeah,
you want to hit things.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know what I would be doing with my life if I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai all the time. Because it does consume your life. What were you doing a year ago before this? Like, what were you doing for exercise and what were you doing to stay busy? Because now you're at the gym 5 days a week.
That's true. Yeah, now I worked out with Brent while he was at the other gym.
At the WAC, yeah.
At the WAC, and that had been a habit for me. So I had him as a trainer a couple times a week, and then I would go to the classes,
Sure.
made friends there. And then 2020 came along, and that kind of shot all of that. But I had then. With 2020, we started doing Zoom yoga.
Okay.
Because I had gone to yoga through New Berlin Park and Rec, and the girl that taught it, her whole family moved up north, but she continued to do yoga on Zoom.
Cool.
So now I have 3 days a week I do yoga, Zoom, and it's great. I'm enjoying that too, but so I was active before.
Yes.
But and I remember when Brent first got the gym, I said, well, I'll come, but I don't want to make that trip, more than twice a week,
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
How did that work out for me? Yes.
Yeah. So where would you say that you find the energy to do this as much as you do? Like, what do you do? Do you just get good night's sleep? Do you eat well? Like, what do you do to be able to amp yourself up to come to the gym as much as you do?
You just do it. You make up your mind you're going to do it, and you do it.
You're congruent between your thoughts and your actions.
Well,
It's called a habit.
Yes. And you want to come, I want to come. And, so I've just said, okay, here are the days I'm going to come. And recently I changed from one day to a different day, so I can get a little bit different experience with, doing Muay Thai twice a week.
Yeah.
And, your dad too is a real encourager. I always get his advice on, what do you think I should be working on, and so on. So it all helps.
That is good. Do you find that yoga helps your jiu-jitsu?
Yes, because even in, you're constantly telling me to, get your posture down, so I can do that because, when your knees are in child's pose, it gets you down a little bit further. And so that has helped. Even with the problems I have with my knees, I can still, get down fairly far.
Yeah, so instead of a tabletop, you put your butt down into child's pose.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know yoga. So.
You got it. You're there. Because then you also do Sundays with Stephanie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, we kept you from that one today.
Oh, well, and it's a great class. It's a good stretching class, where you just really take your time with each pose and you're just stretching. There's nothing better than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that stretching is just supposed to be phenomenal for your body, especially if you do jiu-jitsu, but anyone, you're just supposed to be doing it. And it's definitely an area that I lack.
Yeah, I don't stretch, I don't sleep well, and I don't eat well. It's probably something I should change.
You eat well for the most part. We just haven't been eating well for about 2 weeks now because there's been a lot of things happening in life.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm not eating well.
Yeah.
I would like to eat better.
Very difficult for us to eat. I don't think I've cooked a home cooked meal all week this week, and that's insane for me because I cook a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would rather. I've had gas station food 3 days out of this week.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And one day I had it twice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a kind of crazy busy week.
Yeah, there are going to be weeks like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think next week we actually finally get to do like a real schedule though, which will be kind of nice. We actually get to go train more than twice.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I think I survived last week because I do the morning classes, and I made a noon class, so I was able to. But I feel bad for you. I understand why you want to get smashed by a big guy.
Just not by Brett.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get smashed by Brett. That sounds like a terrible time.
But just remember, don't accept a position.
Yeah.
Just keep vibrating.
I move a lot.
I know you do.
You and I were talking about how our roles are getting tougher with each other because it's just scrambles at this point.
Yeah, did you feel when we rolled on Friday that we had like a 25-second scramble until you stopped moving? And then I ended up on top in like turtle and you were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I could see it in your face. That was super fun. I love rolling like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we just, I mean, like you said, we're always upside down and then we're both going upside down at the same time. And it's just like this, like the whole time. And it's not just me doing it. It's not just him doing it. It's like...
Reminds me of like Charlie Brown cartoons where like people would wrestle and there would be a knot and some dust flying.
Yes.
And then they would settle in a position. That's how we roll.
That's kind of how Ellie and I roll too, though. Like, we just go, like, very, very hard. If I'm not stuck in her guard, we're constantly just, like, doing this. Like, there was one day that we got caught in this really weird position, and I don't even know how to, like, recreate it, but somehow, like, only both of our shoulders were on the ground. Like, just one
sideways?
Yeah, we're both sideways, and we're just staring at each other, and both of our shoulders are there, and we're like, what is happening right now?
I don't know. What doing?
What doing? And it just, like, it was the most fun roll. And her and I have just been doing the really weird stuff lately that we're just, like, flying up in the air, but then we're catching ourselves as we're falling down. And we're just like, I don't know what's going on, but this is great.
Mm-hmm. I find the higher rank you go, the more that happens.
Yeah.
Because both of you are trying to do jiu-jitsu against jiu-jitsu instead of, like, jiu-jitsu against somebody that's trying to hold you there.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yes, it is very fun. So I'm going to put you on the spot because I'm actually genuinely curious because you have a different style than we have a different style. So, like, we know who we like to roll with. We know what moves we like to do. Who's your favorite person to roll with and why?
Who's my favorite person to
roll with?
with?
We're really very open about this, though. Like, I'm very open that Ellie is my favorite roll because, like, we're very similar in size and she has more technique than I do, but I'm catching up a little bit. So, like, it's just a very fun roll. And I don't know who you said your favorite is. Probably, like,
I don't remember. I love rolling with everybody.
Yeah. And
I roll with too many people, probably.
Well, you probably talk about my dad.
Yeah, your dad. Black belts are my favorite people to roll with.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But I'm genuinely
I don't think most
curious.
people feel that way.
Like, who do you mesh with the most? Who's the best to roll with for you?
Probably you.
I didn't expect that. I didn't do that to get like a compliment.
With a lot of women, I'm a little hesitant because of my weight. I weigh so much more than a lot of them, and I'm not worried about that with you. You know, because
she's getting used to getting smashed by big guys.
That's right. She can be smashed by but anyway, but you're you slow down a little bit for me, and so does Nick sometimes, but not lately. We've really been,
I've been amping it up a little on you.
That's right. I like that. That's a compliment. Thank you.
Yes.
But, I like the challenge. I like the challenge of rolling with someone with more experience, because I feel like my job is to, defend myself. But then I also am still trying to get into an offensive position. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I like. I like that challenge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a good way to roll. Especially, that's a great white belt mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that we always tell the kids, too, and this goes for anyone, not just children, is that we always say, like, because kids vary in size so much, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you have a 10-year-old that can be Isaac's size or Wesley's size. Like, they just change so much.
Yeah, 10-year-olds can be anywhere from 50 pounds to 150 pounds.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, like, we always try to emphasize to them that when you're rolling with someone smaller than you or less experienced, like, you need to go at their level so that you can try different stuff, try things that you're not good at, try other things. But then when you're going with someone who's bigger, better, stronger than you, that's when you need to start learning your defense. And that's when you need to, like, start really working on your jiu-jitsu. And I think that goes for anyone in any age bracket, in any weight class, in any belt level. Like, you should be constantly having that mentality of just trying to get better versus the person that you're working with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's important. And you brought up those two different sides of jiu-jitsu. If you're bigger and better, or if you're smaller or not as good as someone else. So there's the two sides, right? If you're bigger or better, you should always not just smash your opponent. You should put your jiu-jitsu at a level where you're both learning. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, trying new things, but also letting them work through things. Because it's no fun if you just smash whoever you're rolling with every time you roll with them. Because that's just like, it's no fun.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it is when you are smaller or not as good as someone else, put yourself in those weird positions and tap more. Because that's how you learn to get through those positions or what not to do. And then eventually you'll find stuff that does work. And then eventually it's going to be an even level of jiu-jitsu or closer to even level of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good way for both people to learn.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I would say my biggest mentality right now, especially on Tuesday nights with the women, is that, like, Susie, Kayla, and Sam are all kind of, like, roughly in the same spot right now, where they're all, like, that one-stripe white belt, just, like, really trying to, you know, kill me, kill Ellie, but also, like, don't know how to really survive yet. What I've been letting them do is, and you too, I mean, all of you guys, what I'm letting you do is I'm letting you get to the last cog, the cog theory. I'm letting you get all the way to the last cog, and then I'm shutting it down. Every single time. And you guys all get so frustrated, and it's super cute and it's super fun, but, like, I'll let you get that arm bar, and then I'm immediately just gonna be like, no. And every time I always hear it, they're like, I thought I had that. And I'm like,
do you remember when I used to do that to you?
Yes, I do. But it's like, it's cool to just be able to have that, I guess, power to be able to do that, and that control to be able to handle that.
Yes.
Where, like, I love rolling. Tuesday nights is one of my favorite nights just because I get to try things that I'm not good at. Like, I suck at guillotines. I'm not going to hide that at all. I'm terrible at them. So this past Tuesday, I just guillotined everyone. I didn't think I finished any of them, but I just guillotined everyone because I was like, I'm going to go for this.
Yes.
And I remember I had Kayla in a guillotine, but it wasn't a good one because I'm not good at them. And she didn't know how to get out of it. So I was doing enough to keep her there. But I was like, if I was going in a competition against a blue belt, they'd be out of this. So how do I make this better? So I'm sitting there thinking, like, how do I make this tighter? And she's sitting there thinking, how do I get out of this? And I thought that right there was, like, one of the coolest moments because she's learning and I'm learning and we both suck.
I wouldn't say both suck, but that's a great place to be for both of you in your journey. And it's important to roll with that in mind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. And also when you're that defensive person, this was the other thing I was going to say when I was talking about that. When you're the defensive person, don't just clam up and not do jiu-jitsu. Don't use anti-jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu. It's, like, extremely boring when you're, like, fearful of my advancement or my submissions and you just literally just clam up. And then I, like, sit on you. It's like, come on, let's play some jiu-jitsu. That's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. So and if I'm better than you, don't expect that I'm just going to, like, immediately submit you with whatever I want, because that's not my goal when I'm rolling with you, unless we're rolling for competition. There's a difference, right? Because like, if I wanted to submit you in, like, less than a minute, I would make that effort and make it happen, but that's not how I play jiu-jitsu with you, unless we're competing, which is different. Yeah. So don't clam up, white belts. Right. Open up. Let them play.
Like Nancy says, mobility is key. Like, you just got to keep moving. And honestly, like, it's really hard to submit someone when they're moving. It's really easy when they're not moving, but it's really hard when they are. So even if you're moving and you're moving like an idiot, like it doesn't matter because it's still harder for us to catch you.
Yes. And when you move like an idiot, it's unexpected. So that makes the move that you're trying to do not work because you're like, oh, well, that's not there like it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Oh, something to work on for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But did you have any other things that you wanted to talk about that maybe we didn't get to?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It was super fun. It was really cool to get a different perspective. Did you have any last questions?
You already kind of asked her what would she say to anybody thinking about trying jiu-jitsu and feeling like they're too old.
Yeah, she said you're never too old.
Right. You did talk about how it's been beneficial for your brain and for your body doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah. I don't know what else I had in mind. I feel like I had something, but I can't remember.
All right, that's cool. But yeah, well.
Oh, I was gonna ask: has outside of those things, has jiu-jitsu enhanced other areas of your life, or have people outside of jiu-jitsu, have you like told them about what you're doing in jiu-jitsu and what's their kind of reaction to it? Like your family, because the rest of your family doesn't come train jiu-jitsu yet.
That's true. That's true. My family kind of accepts it, and Jim has come a couple of times to help out, and he's come to a couple of the competitions.
Yeah,
and he's bragging to people about it.
How cool you are, how badass you are.
That's super cute.
He's he also saying how nice everyone is.
Oh, okay.
That people aren't, going around with a big ego type thing. It's everybody is helping each other. It's a brotherhood, so to speak, and sisterhood. And my friends probably, I do post in Facebook, but they probably do not have as good an understanding of what
technology.
I'm doing. What are you doing?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's and what was the other part of your question?
Has it affected other areas of your life that's not jiu-jitsu based or health based?
I think it has, because it just from the camaraderie and the friendships. I feel that I'm seeing people outside of jiu-jitsu, and we're getting together, we're having fun, we're it's kind of like if you feel that as a child you didn't really have a childhood, come and do jiu-jitsu, because you can be a kid again.
That's right.
You really can be. And
yes.
That's how I feel, that I can be a kid.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's really cute. I really like that.
That's super cool. And it's true, though, because I come to the gym, I take off my sandals, and then I dive headfirst onto the mat, and then I do a headstand, I'm rolling around and spinning.
That is the best example. Just there he is, rolling around.
And I can't do that at the coffee shop, and I can't do that at the grocery store. And I've done that a couple of times, and Brittany really doesn't like when I do that. But she lets me do it at the gym. And I do it at my family's house. I was doing it on where was I yesterday? Oh, I did it at the quinceañera.
Yeah.
I was rolling on the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
He
did a headstand on the couch with our 3-year-old nephew. It's a really cute picture. They're both just upside down, and they're like, "Look at what I can do."
Yeah, I do it at I do it at people's houses because they understand who and how I am.
They put away their precious things, belongings, before you come, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, Nick's coming." Oh, yeah, he likes to roll around on the ground. But if I did that at the coffee store, they'd be like, "Something's wrong with this man. Should we call an ambulance? Yes. He's having a seizure?
That is true.
He won't stop vibrating? I don't know." So you can be a kid and just play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been a fantastic addition to the team, and I'm very happy to continue training with you and keep learning from you, because clearly you have a lot of wisdom. We love learning from you, and you teach us different things every day as much as we teach you things all the time, too. So
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're awesome to be around. So, cheers again. Woo. I don't know if you have any coffee in there, but...
To Nancy.
To Nancy.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on today. Again, I appreciate you coming over and hanging out with us and talking about jiu-jitsu, because it's always fun.
Yes. And you guys have a great week. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy training.